Vinícius Júnior, a forward for Real Madrid and one of the main stars of the Brazilian national team, recently shared his thoughts on young talent Gabriel Martinelli, a player for Arsenal. In a heartfelt and relaxed statement, Vinícius highlighted not only Martinelli's footballing skills, but also his charismatic and fun personality. He emphasized that Martinelli is an extremely funny person, which contributes to a light and friendly atmosphere whenever they are together. The friendship between Vinícius and Martinelli goes beyond the four corners of the field. The two players maintain frequent communication, exchanging messages and discussing their experiences, challenges, and achievements, both in their clubs and with the national team. This camaraderie shows how the connection between athletes can be a motivational factor, helping them grow not only as players, but also as individuals. Vinícius praised Martinelli for his exceptional technical skills, highlighting his determination and dedication in every match. He pointed out the young player's ability to stand out in one of the most competitive leagues in the world, the Premier League, where Martinelli has shown remarkable performance. The way the Brazilian adapts and evolves in European football is admired by many, and Vinícius sees a bright future for Martinelli. Furthermore, Vinícius and Martinelli represent a new generation of talent in Brazilian football, promising to take the country to new heights in international competitions. Their friendship symbolizes the unity among players who often support and encourage each other, creating a healthy and collaborative environment. This dynamic is even more crucial in a scenario where pressure and expectations are high, as having a close friend to share experiences with can make all the difference. Both players have their eyes set on the future, with the expectation of making significant contributions to the Brazilian national team in upcoming competitions like the World Cup and the Copa America. By speaking about Martinelli, Vinícius not only expresses his affection and appreciation for his friend, but also reinforces the importance of friendship and mutual support in the world of sports. This dynamic among players is a clear example of how football goes beyond being just a game. It is about building bonds, sharing moments, and above all, creating a story together both on and off the field.
Yeah, I guess we're coming towards the end of the season now for Arsenal. It's been a bit of a mixed season in terms of the Premier League challenge, kind of petered out quite early. A great run in the Champions League as well. What have you made of their season this season? And I guess, first let's start with this season actually.
Yeah, I mean this season we started off very well. We were contenders for a long time for the Premier League, going very far in the Champions League, where I thought and generally thought that we could be one of the favourites, especially after those games against Real Madrid. You know, how mature we were in these games, how, let's say, easy it was in those games to beat them. And I was very confident that we can go into the games against PSG and felt like, okay, we can do a job here, and from there maybe move on. And but yeah, I mean, you come across very good teams. You know, you're the last four, so it's very difficult then to actually bring that trophy home. But I felt like, I mean, I'm more looking at a bigger picture and more looking at where Arsenal or we are coming from, and how great of a job Mikel actually did, you know, to bring us back fighting for trophies, and I think that's very important. And if you look at just winning that trophy, of course you're more looking at just the result in terms of you want to more look at the process as well, what the job is done, and I think he's done an incredible job to bring us where we are. I mean, so close to winning trophies, and that doesn't mean as an Arsenal fan or the team itself would be very disappointed how he went towards the end of the season, because they want to lift trophies, and especially after last season already, where we were very close on beating Man City, and now Man City dropping. I expected their Arsenal to be there. Unfortunately, it wasn't, but that doesn't mean everything is going wrong, and the job the players and the manager and the staff is doing is not going well. So I still strongly believe in that group and in the club itself that, again, next year we could be challenging again.
It's interesting. After the PSG game, there was a lot of talk about trophies and Arsenal need to win a trophy, or do Arsenal need to win a trophy? What do you make of that debate? Because is it too simple to just say Arsenal need to win a trophy next season, or do you think they do need to win a trophy, especially with Mikel Arteta, I guess, because the challenges have been there, but since the FA Cup there's not been that silverware.
I mean, I do understand, but then again, you don't want to just look at, okay, have they won it or not. You want to look at how they've done it, like what is going on in that club. You can have a terrible season or terrible games, but still with some luck, you might win that. But then you know that next year was a chance of getting there again. I feel like Arsenal is now, year in, year out, challenging for trophies, and that's where you want to be. And then it's a matter of just taking it over the line, and that's the next step that Arsenal hopefully can make very soon. But I still, as I said, still strongly believe in that team and what's going on within that club, that they could do it. Yeah, and I also believe in, now the summer coming up, the right people are there to make somehow adjustments maybe, or bringing people in to make the team a bit stronger. And but I really believe that Arsenal is on the right way.
Is there? You mentioned obviously the summer, and they've got Berta in now for the recruitment. Is there anything from the outside where you look at the team and you think they need something here or they need something here? Do you see that when you watch the team? Is there anything, in your opinion, that you think they need?
I mean, the talk has always been about us bringing a striker from the winter, and I do believe it's not easy to just bring the right player in. Arsenal is at such a high level. You need to bring in a striker that even gets you to a higher level, and obviously I think they are looking at that. They're looking at every position, striker as well, to bring in better players to lift that level. But you're already semi-final Champions League, which is incredible level, so it's not easy to make that the last step. It's easy to make big steps when you're down here, but when you're so close, it's not. You need to make sure you make the right decision, and you can't just do emotional decisions. But I believe that the right people are there to do it.
It's interesting. You mentioned earlier that you were at Arsenal at a time where there was a lot of talk on the outside about a trophy drought. And Arsenal need a trophy. Does that thing play on a player's mind? Is it talked about in the dressing room? Do you think the current squad will be thinking about that at the moment?
I'm not sure if they talk about it in the dressing room, but they probably hear it. They would feel it. But I mean, those players who are there, they have such a quality. They always have it in the back of their mind. They want to win trophies, and it doesn't matter what club they are. They're now at Arsenal and they want to win trophies. So that pressure they're used to. They're used to playing big games. They're used to probably fighting for trophies. So they're not gonna physically talk about it just hey, this year we need to win it, but they would feel it, but they can cope with it 100%.
Brilliant. Just one more again, if you I got asked, Kevin De Bruyne.
Yeah.
Obviously he's not going to be at Man City next season. What do you see for him? He's been I think he said that he'd be open to staying in the Premier League. And I think he's showing some great form even towards the end of this season at Man City. Do you expect him to stay in the Premier League? Do you think that's a level that he can still perform at?
Oh, it's definitely a level he can still perform at. I know him very well. I play lots of games with him. I know the quality he has. I mean, you see it on the pitch as well. You don't have to play with him to know the world-class qualities he has. So he definitely has that still in him to play in the Premier League. I think he struggled with injuries this season, so that kept him from performing at his best. But now he said that as well. He's fully fit, and you can see what he can still do. So, of course, it's a decision, Man City or Kevin made to not extend the contract, but he can still do the job at a very high level. And if it's in the Premier League, if it's at Man City or somewhere else in Europe, I strongly believe that he can be still very important for that club, and even for country as well, for Belgium. He can still be so important for us in the next few years.
I think he said that it was Man City's decision. Are you surprised that they would let a player like him go with everything he's done there and the quality he's still showing?
I mean, now I'm a fan and I'm looking from the outside, so then I would think, I know what he can do, I know how he's still performing, so then you think, that's a bit of a strange decision. But what I've learned as well in my career, we never know the full picture, we never know the full story, we never know what's going on behind the scenes, even with all the contract talks in Liverpool. We all can have an opinion and all think about, they should do this or that, but we never have the full picture. So for me, it's difficult to judge from the outside and say like, well, Man City's been silly here. But I mean, it's a shame to see how well he's done for that club and then leave. I live in England and I watch the Premier League, so I would love to see him here, and see him playing. But it's from the outside it looks like a strange decision, but probably Man City has their reasons why to do it.
You say you know him well, and you played with him so many times. How good is he? In terms of the players you played with, midfield position, how talented is he? How good of a player?
Well, one of the best players I ever played with, and I played with Messi, I played with Eden Hazard, but they're all different players to Kevin. Kevin was he's a Premier League legend, right? But on his position as a midfielder, the passes he does, the vision he has on certain moments in a game, he can see a picture we don't see, and he sees that, and he can actually execute that at such a high level. The quality of pass he has, the difficulty as well, and that's his main quality. And he can finish, but he can assist. That's his main attribute. And I mean, still for me, he's a world-class player.
And just finally, do you think it would be strange to see him in another Premier League shirt, because he's synonymous with Man City, and even with Pep Guardiola? It could happen, but how strange do you think would that be to see?
Yeah, I think it's always strange at the beginning because he's been there for such a long time, and it's always when people are somewhere for a long period of time. Even when Arsene left Arsenal, or Ferguson left Man United, it's so strange to see a new manager there. But we all get used to it. In the beginning it's strange, but then that's the human brain, I suppose. We all get used to new things, and it will happen with him as well. So I think for him, he needs to make the right decision. I still hope he thinks he can have a lot of good years so we can enjoy his world-class football, and I hope he can still bring that the next few years.
And finally, you don't have to answer, but yourself? I know you're enjoying life in Cobham at the moment. But you're obviously coaching with the national team before, but in terms of football ambitions for you at the moment, is there anything you can tell us about, or what your goals are? Yeah,
I mean, when I retired from actually playing, I went into coaching straight away within the national team under Roberto Martinez, the first team. He took me in his staff straight away, and just to learn a bit of what's going on there, maybe have that link with still the players I played with. And I really enjoyed that. After that, I kept a bit working with the federation. That's what I was doing. And of course, I'm living in the UK. I'm not really going into some full-time coaching yet, but it's definitely something I enjoyed. But what I also enjoy now is because I've had a long career, 20 years professional football. You live as a football player, and sometimes it's also nice to have a bit of that break with the family. Now I can focus on different things which I couldn't do throughout my career, and while I have that balance, still doing some stuff with the federation and having that family life, I think that's a good balance.